So as Reformed believers, we can sometimes have a strong aversion to liturgy, but do you think it can actually be helpful for times like Advent?
I do. So the Anglicans actually have this phrase. They say that liturgy forms us. And, we use the word liturgy, but often what we mean is order of worship. And for that to be the case, then everybody has one. And the question that needs, how is it forming you as a congregation? And for that reason, I really important for worship leaders, worship pastors, and to be involved in the shape of the liturgy. Ours at our church takes a gospel arc, so that the gospel is faceted into every aspect of what we do on a Sunday morning. And what's beautiful is as we go places where it's different, there's a longing in our hearts for what we know. And that's how liturgy forms us in a lot of ways. Advent is really beautiful for this because in our tradition, we recognize the need to remember the work of Christ as he has come in mortal flesh. And I think that spending, 4 weeks leading up, reminding ourselves of the sacrifice he made and what he did, his humanity, because we do spend a lot of time focusing on his deity, is really important to the church. But I would just suggest that we all have the liturgy and that we need to, I think there's an aversion, you don't want to be, I think, especially in the early particular Baptist church in Britain, there was a tendency to avoid it because of fear of looking like the Roman Catholic Church. Fear that church too close to the Roman Catholic Church, those kind of things historically. But I think that the problem is if our theology is a response to another theology, then we're not actually positively building our theology. We're reacting, and reactive theology is dangerous. So all the say that I think that it's important for Reformed churches to be thinking about what are we doing when we come together to worship, and how is it forming the hearts and appetites of our people.
I think you said it really well.
I think you just blew our minds a little bit right now.
I just like I was talking, and then I was like, wait, but there's two of us.
I feel like it would be.
It means a lot to us, so it's really like I could talk a long time about this.
I was going to say, I think it might be helpful to explain when we say liturgy, often we think of the order of worship that we use in our service, where there is a call to worship, seeing the greatness of God, a confession of sin, remembering the work that Christ has done, and the scripture readings, prayers,
and a scripture reading that assures us of the pardon of Christ from the gospel.
I'll go into this overarching liturgy. A prayer for illumination, asking the Lord to open our eyes to his word, of course, the sermon. In our church, we do communion every week as, again, a way to remember.
We heard the gospel, going to taste and see the gospel.
And then a big benediction, a sending out. And again, I don't think there's one way to do it, but that can be a helpful arc, or a helpful order to, again, remind our hearts of the gospel and what Christ has done and who indeed we are coming to worship.
For those who might be interested, there's a book by Brian Chappell, Christ-Centered Worship, and it actually lists a bunch of different liturgies that have been used historically. I mean, that's just a really great way to look at, hey, what have other people done? Of course, none of this is law, but it's a practical way of looking at how are we forming our people.
I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Hymnpartial podcast, but before you go away, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell so that you are notified whenever we release new content on this channel. For more information, like how to support us or to sign up for our free weekly newsletter, make sure you head over to hymnpartial.com.